if you're an aviation geek like I am, and even if you're not that much of an aviation geek, you'll still know that there were so many different marks and variations of the Supermarine Spitfire. Today though, we're exploring one variant in particular. As far back as 1941, Supermarine had thoughts to make a two-seat Spitfire. The main reason behind this decision was to be able to fast-track pilot training and cut out the need for training aircraft, therefore being able to move pilots directly into flying a Spitfire. However, the Air Ministry rejected this idea outright. The reason being was that they wanted to concentrate on producing single-seat Spitfires due to the shortage that was being experienced by the RAF. Supermarine therefore shelved the plans until 1944, when eventually they modified a Mark V, ES-127, to become a two-seat Spitfire. This was then issued to 261 Squadron of the RAF, then operating in the Middle East Theatre. At this time, the aircraft did not have dual control, and so was only used as a squadron hack. It did, however, provoke thought once again that perhaps it might not be a bad idea to train future pilots on a two-seat Spitfire. Due to this delay by the Air Ministry, the Russians were the first to produce a two-seat aircraft for training purposes. They had already converted some of their own frontline fighters to accommodate another seat, and with the acquisition of some Spitfires under the Russian Lend-Lease Act, did the same to several Mark IX aircraft. Due to Russia being the first to successfully convert Spitfires to two-seaters, this prompted Supermarine to embark on a private version in 1946, and it was at this time that we saw the first true two-seat Spitfire in the UK. They chose a Mark VIII, bearing the serial number MT818. Early in 1947, this aircraft went to Boscombe Down for handling trials, which proved very favourable. However, once again, there were no orders coming from the Air Ministry due to the fact that the RAF were now turning to jet-powered aircraft, virtually making piston engine aircraft redundant. Due to this, the newly converted UK-based two-seater was stored at the former RAF airfield of Chibleton from 1952 until 1956. Fast forward 20 or so years later, and the first two-seat Spitfire to offer flights was ML407, better known as the Grace Spitfire. Restored to flying condition over 5 years by Nick Grace, it was finally finished in 1985. However, it was all too tragic when he was killed in an automobile accident. Endeavouring to keep the aircraft flying in his honour, in 1990, his wife Carolyn became the first female pilot to own and operate a Spitfire and the first to carry a passenger. Later, major changes to civil aviation regulations finally saw the long-awaited opportunity for publicly available flights in Spitfires to become a reality. So there we have it, a nice little look back at the history of how the two-seat variant of the Supermarine Spitfire came to be. Now this was really interesting to dive into. I've known for many years that there were two-seaters around and that they did passenger flights, but to dive into the history was really interesting, and to find out that the Russians were the first to do it, that really took me by surprise. But as well, like I mentioned, the Grey Spitfire being the first, there are way many more two-seaters available now from a variation of companies. So you've got Biggin Hill Heritage Hangar, you've got Spitfires.com, who travel around the country to different airports and offer passenger flights. You've got Aerial Collective down at Duxford, and you've also got Ultimate Warbird Flights, which are the operators of the Grace Spitfire. So there's plenty of places to choose from if you're lucky enough to be able to go in one of these magnificent aircraft. And I have mentioned before that it's my dream to go in one, and I will. It will happen next year. I am determined to make it happen. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that look at a bit of aircraft. You know, I'm an aircraft geek on this channel, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did enjoy it. You can check out my last video here, which is where I went to visit a really cool museum here in North Wales. And yes, thank you once again. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.